co-chairs Barker and Taylor. My name is Daniel Bonham. I represent House District 59. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before the committee this morning. As a family man, a small businessman, and most importantly, husband to a wife who has her own professional ambitions, I recognize the changing dynamics of the workforce. For us, it hasn't always been that way. When we were newly married with a young child at home, I set out and blazed a trail of my own career, starting at Evergreen Airlines at $25,000 a year. That whopping salary allowed us, though, to keep my wife at home with our daughter, which was a priority for her. So you can imagine with that big salary, we made some sacrifices to afford ourselves that luxury. We have more dual income households and more single parents in the workforce today than ever before. And now a majority of women in the workforce have children at home. Those of us who are parents recognize that raising a family is the most rewarding and challenging endeavor that anyone can engage in. At my business, Mop and Stoves and Spas, it's not just part of my life, it's part of my family. My kids were raised in the back of the shop for a short time while we were waiting for our one house to sell, and before we closed on the next house, we actually lived in a travel trailer in the back of the shop, and we set up a living room in the shop, which you can imagine was quite exciting. My kids have worked behind the front counter, they've answered the phone, they've gone on sales calls with me, but most importantly, they've built relationships with my employees to the extent that I would argue that my employees are our family as well. When they're successful, my employees, that is, healthy and happy, makes my wife and I feel like we've done something right. I don't know whether it's the inherent nature of the relationship with small business and employees, or just it's the intent of how we interact, but the value of those employees is to the extent that you just don't want to lose them, and you get to know them over the course of the day. You engage in their lives, you know what's going on in their personal lives, and you invest not just in them doing their job better, but you invest in them as people. There have been times in our business, plenty of times, where we have been the lowest paid employees. We've gone months where we don't write ourselves the check to ensure that everyone else gets paid on time and to make sure that the business is viable so we can keep those jobs for them in the future. One of the fun prospects of being a small business person, I guess. So I appreciated early on when I was appointed to this legislature that the Speaker put me on the early child development, and through that I was put on this paid family and medical leave work group. And I was thankful that my unique voice as a small business person was on that work group. To many of us, our small businesses are our passion. They're the incubator of innovation in this state as well. Oregon small businesses account for 99% of the registered entities and employ over 820,000 employees. We're an integral part of communities. When we succeed, we expand, we invest, we hire more employees, and of course, we pay more taxes. We sponsor Little League teams, and we're engaged out in the community. Paid family and medical leave is not just a neat idea. It isn't something that simply polls well. It's the right thing to do, but it's a balance. It's a balance between what employees need and what businesses can afford, a balance between the role of government and how it interacts with the private sector. House Bill 3385 that we put forward represents a balanced approach to paid family and medical leave and the best opportunity to offer a viable, affordable, and sustainable option moving forward. Others that are going to speak later will speak to the mechanics of the bill, but I want to quickly outline the values that we're after. First, it's shared cost. While the direct payroll allocation can come from employees, employers also have the option to pick it up under our bill, but employers bear the cost of replacement workers and the administrative burden. The benefit needs to be available to everyone. I think we all agree on that. Recognitions that families come in all shapes and sizes. Employee-based benefits best solve issues related to portability. The private insurance market is functioning well for thousands of Oregonians. This is already out there deployed. It's a known commodity today. Small businesses need flexibility, but their employees shouldn't be without the benefit. That we shouldn't simply allow this to be an additional benefit to workers for large employers. we pass another unfunded mandate onto our cities, counties, and schools. We can't afford that. Taking money from schools, local health services is just a non-starter for me. In a session filled with additional cost burdens on small business, finding a proposal that contains administrative costs is critical. Everyone that's going to come speak to you today is passionate about paid family and medical leave, and I think everybody really is dedicated to trying to find a solution this session. Thank you.
Thank you.